2, 1.
We're playing with Techno toys, this time on Inside Space. Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, they're all around the corner. And if you're looking for a gift idea for your space-oriented techno friends, you have come to the right place. Hi, I'm Jeff Fox, and this time on Inside Space, we're at the Edmund Scientific Superstore in Barrington, New Jersey. Oh, I remember how disappointed I was as a kid when I realized that I could never build anything that was on the front of the box. But look, someone can. This Ferris wheel is built with Connects. Kits and toys like this really help teach you about the physics of structure. They're very, very scientific. So we thought we'd take you to meet the people who are responsible for them.
How do I make something big get small and then get big again? What can you actually physically make change and transform? What I call an unfolding structure.
For the past 15 years, this has been the obsession of engineer, artist, and inventor Chuck Hoberman. He's fused the worlds of machines and structures to form an unusual hybrid that he hopes someday may be used for practical purposes. In recent years, his life's work has taken a whimsical turn. Chuck has become a successful toy entrepreneur, manufacturing a plastic portable version of the original Hoberman sphere.
My first idea, after I'd come up with the original inventions, was, gee, how can I get the opportunity to build these really big? And I was able to find some science museums who commissioned me to make some very large structures and prove that this whole technology could be made at a large scale and could function and be strong and stable and run. And a lot of people saw the work. At a certain point, my wife and I were discussing it, and the question was, well, gee, if people find this so appealing, maybe they'd like to have these things themselves. And that was kind of the starting point for making toys. And not even really thinking of it as toys, more thinking of it as, this is a neat thing, how do we put it into people's hands? In a lot of ways, it surprised me, the popularity that this little object has. I always found it like a cool thing, but it took a long time before it was out there enough so that we really saw this sort of wide response of different people and how they look at the object. And that's very gratifying to us, because when we first introduced it, you get a lot of professional toy people who would look at it and, you go like, hey, look at this. And they'd go like, yeah, what else does it do? And, what can you answer? But people find out what else it does. And I think one of the things that's appealing about it is that it does have this immediate interactivity. You do something and it responds. And after all, it's just, doing one thing, a very simple thing, expansion. And yet, there are endless patterns that we can read into that expansion. What we're seeing is this whole relationship between parts, so that as I pull on 2 points, every single part in the structure moves outwards along a trajectory that radiates from the center. And that ordered quality of motion is what mathematical structure is about. It's about ordered relationships between parts. And this is, in a way, kind of an object that makes that physical, makes that manifest. Today we're in this incredible flowering of technology, the whole media and digital age. It really is what is happening on the technology level. And of course, because of that, that's gone right into the whole world of kids and toys. And sometimes I think people have the mistaken idea that that takes away the need for physical things, something where you're not just staring at a glowing screen, but you actually have your hands on something and you are intrigued by it and ask how that could come to be.
The Hoberman is the first thing our guests see when they walk in the door, and it's fascinating from all ages, from very young to very old, and it's a great chance for people to observe. But But what I love about the toy is that it gives our guests and anyone who buys the toy a chance to observe up close. It's made of familiar materials, it's colorful, it's approachable. At the same time, it's a mechanical marvel. You know, it's an invention, and it's art, and it's fun. And it's a great way for kids to look at it, for adults to look at it and say, how and can I?
Creative wonderment is at the core of Connects. This color-coded infinite building system of plastic rods, wheels, panels, pulleys, motors, and connectors is the brainchild of Joel Glickman. Joel and his team at Connects have refined their product into a resource for intellectual problem solving. And you thought it was all just fun and games.
With Connects, kids are learning geometry and physics and mathematics, mechanics and logic. Any of that can be applied to any science. And essentially what Connects is kind of a cross between art and science. We're establishing some basic scientific principles. How do you use a pulley or a series of gears? How do they work together? As a small gear coupled with a large gear, which one is going to spin faster if you put a motor, and then where is there going to be a power increase or reduction depending on which gear that you drive? If you want to teach a kid, for instance, centrifugal force, instead of giving he or she equations, take a Connects roller coaster, put it together, run it. Then the question to the kid is, well, why doesn't it fall off the track? The obvious answer is centrifugal force. But now you've identified something that relates to the kid's world that he or she has an interest in. I think that there is a wonderful heritage of construction toys that go back, at least as far as I know, early, late 1800s. I mean, I think they probably, kids in the Stone Age were piling stones on one another. I think technology allowed us to make the next generation construction toy.
If Connects is the next generation of the construction toy, then Zoob is the illegitimate stepchild of it. The patented ball and socket, hinge and flexible saddle, joint shapes can connect in 20 different ways. The system is based on geometry, anatomy, physics, engineering, and of course, art. Primordial Incorporated in San Francisco is Zoob headquarters and the home of the slightly manic Zoob builders. Artist, scientist, and inventor Michael Gray and his partner Matthew Brown also lurk among the Zoob life forms.
Zoology, and that's botany, and that's ontology and ontogeny.
And those mean?
The nature of development and being.
And why is that important?
Because Zoob's a developmental system, at how things work in nature on a microcosmic level and on a macrocosmic level, so how the body works. So the Zoob system mimics the way that organic systems work. The system was designed to be very intuitive and very easy to use, and that there really isn't just one. Designing it was very challenging because there isn't just one function that you're trying to optimize, trying to design for many different functions.
This is a fabric or a weave. It's just one of several that oscillates, in this kind of plane. But also you can extend it and then it'll twist. So it's a very dynamic way of moving that you wouldn't. That really just because of the design of the orbit, which is the jaw, really allows for that type of shift in multiple planes simultaneously.
Each jaw has 2 pi steradians surface area, and a sphere has 4 pi steradians. So this is exactly half of a sphere. So when you put them together, they create a perfect sphere. And they're made so that you can create a sort of a switch or piston that way. with 3 parts together, you have range of motion to touch any point in space from the center of the part to any part on the imaginary sphere that it can contain. The Citroid itself with all the different classic geometries embedded in, but when you're able to play with it and watch what happens when you start to connect, you start to discover things you'd never be able to conceptualize. So it really is a spatial language, and most of the things that we've come across aren't things that we had precognition about. They were really discovered by connecting and playing. And even the builders, some of them little kids have made all the classic geometries just by experimenting, by dealing with the natural symmetry of the system.
And it's fun. I mean, that's all the high-minded stuff really gets down to something that you can just sit there and play with and re-express over and over and over and over.
Now, when we come back, we'll take a look at some robots that'll light up your holidays, so don't go away.
3, 2.
This Sci-Fi Channel program is brought to you by Pringles. We get whole crunchy chips fresh and crispy to your lips. Once you pop, you can't stop.
I've asked Patty to show you how easy it is to use 1010-9000, the only number you need to get directory assistance anywhere in America. Watch. Patty just dials 1010-9000 and tells the operator whose number she wants.
Leslie Weller, Denver.
The operator finds the number, even offers to dial it with no connection charge.
No connection charge? Sure, dial it for me.
With 1010-9000, it's that easy. 1010-9000, directory assistance for everyone in America.
Playtime. Definitely not playtime. Playtime.
33 dependents?
Definitely not playtime. In a recent survey, 11 out of 10 people preferred playtime over definitely not playtime, which is why we created the Sony card, only from Citibank. Each time you use it, you get points towards Lowe's Cineplex movie tickets, and Sony video games, music, and electronics.
Hey, handsome. Come on in.
Playtime. Definitely not playtime. You can apply by phone. Call now and get 1,000 bonus Sony points. So get the card for people who prefer playtime. Not sure? Let's review. Playtime?
Hey, it's my car!
Definitely not playtime. Not even close. The Sony card from Citibank, the official currency of playtime.
A Star Trek double feature.
Yes.
Joy. The Final Frontier and the Voyage Home. Today, starting at 2, 1 Central on the SciFi Channel.
3, 2. Launch correct.
Back now on Inside Space, looking at Techno toys. Past few holiday seasons, some of the neatest toys have been robots, like this one that's built out of robotics kits. There's a student at MIT who also builds robots. Now, he doesn't use kits like this, he uses Legos. But the neat thing about his robots are you can actually program them with your own PC.
I'm Anthony Fudd, LEGO Mindstorm's Master Builder. What we have here are robots created with LEGO Mindstorms, and what it is a product that allows you to design and build your own LEGO robots and then program them using your PC to do whatever it is you want them to do. And it's all made possible by this unit here, and this is called the RCX. And what it is actually a little microcomputer. And you use your home PC to program this small microcomputer, which then controls your robot. One of the simplest things you can make is something like this little robot, and he's a little walker. I like to call him JJ Walker. Now this guy has 2 different programs inside. One program is a very simple program. It just tells him to walk along. And he just walks along. Now he's not using any sensors, so he's not very intelligent. So he'll just walk right off the table. However, the neat thing about Mindstorms is you can add sensors, like this little light sensor here located in his face. I put that light sensor there. I can then make him somewhat intelligent, and now instead of randomly walking in a straight line, go to the next program slot, and now he's somewhat intelligent, and he can follow a line. Now he's looking for the line, and when he finds it, he'll start to follow it. Now this robot uses touch sensors. In much the same way that the light sensor robot uses a light sensor to find its way, this robot uses touch sensors to find its way. Now he doesn't need a predetermined path like the light sensing robot. He can roam anywhere. His touch sensors allow him, when he hits an object, he's programmed to back away from that object and then turn in the opposite direction. The way that his feelers are designed, he can also sense edges as well, so he doesn't fall off the edge of the table. You can use a combination of the sensors to make more sophisticated robots that do more sophisticated tasks. Like this robot here. This robot was designed to deal cards. He's programmed to deal to 4 different players, but you can control how many players he deals to in your programming. One additional feature of the RCX and the LEGO Mindstorms robotic convention system is that the RCX units can actually communicate with each other. So if you and a friend have a set, you can make robots that can communicate with each other. Like this guy, this is connected to this rig on my arm. So this rig has different sensors located in it, as rotation sensor in my finger, in my wrist, and in my elbow. Using those rotation sensors, it can sense the movement of my arm, and then it sends a message to the RCX located in this robotic arm, and it tells it to mimic my actions. So if I open my fingers, it opens its pinchers. If I close my hand, it closes his. If I lower my arm, so does he. If I raise my arm, he responds. Once you make a robot, you can make robots that do simple things like just walk around, or robots that do meaningful tasks or playful tasks like dealing cards. And then you can also share your ideas with other LEGO users. And that's possible through the LEGO Mindstorms website, www.legomindstorms.com. Through the website, you can share programs. You can get ideas about things that you like to build, and also technical tips on how to put different things together.
Normally, I'm mild-mannered Corey Powell of Discover magazine, but sometimes I put on my Zoob hat and become
the Toy Meister!
So I put together a gift guide, picked out some of the really cool, sciencey, techie toys that are available this season.
All systems are go.
This here is the Free Play radio. It's got clear case. You can see all these strange things going on inside. Little solar panel, and this kind of funny-looking crank here. Of course, I'm saying funny-looking. You can wind this thing up like it's a little music box, but when you flip it on, it actually is a real honest-to-God radio, perfect for being a hip urban geek with your very own coil and solar-powered radio. This is basically the same kind of technology that people were using to make batteries about 200 years ago, but now it's perfect for making a funky digital clock. It's a pretty simple principle. You just have these little metal electrodes that stick into an apple. You could use an orange, you can use a potato. But just keep an eye on it, because if you put it down on your coffee table, in about a week, you'll have a moldy mess. But until then, you have a really cool clock. So what we've got here is Air Hogs. It's just an air-powered airplane. It really sounds like you're gonna kill somebody or else mow your lawn. Behold the power of air. For my next trick, I'm gonna need to put on this pair of Revo sunglasses. Fancy NASA technology, blocks ultraviolet rays, perfect for protecting me from this little disc. It's made by Binary Arts. When you put it down on a table and spin it, it tricks your eye into thinking that it's seeing motion. When you look away, the whole world pulsates in a way that I really can't describe to you, but trust me, it's very cool. This, believe it or not, is a telescope. It's made by Celestrons. It works pretty well. It's a little spy scope. You slip this little thing on, point it the other way, and it's a microscope, perfect for looking for life on Mars. So a few years back, there was this robot called Dante that went down into a volcano, and now Learning Curve makes a little replica you can buy at home. It's a pretty damn scary looking thing. Really looks like you're ready for world domination. Well, nostalgia seems to be going full force. We've got Marvin the Martian. You may remember from those old Warner Brothers cartoons. He's actually the unofficial mascot of the Mars Pathfinder mission. And like everything else this year, now he talks. And if this holiday season hasn't been strange enough for you, how about the X-Files dolls? It's Ken, it's Barbie, it's Mulder, it's Scully. Pretty weird. And the truth is out there. If you want to find the truth about these things, you can take a look at the Discover gift guide in our December issue. Take a look at this Sci-Fi Channel website at sci-fi.com/inside space. Or you can just go unprepared into the toy store, where it's going to be a mad scene.
3, 2, launch correct.
We asked the Hartford Wolfpack to try the Norelco reflex action for 21 days. There were signs of resistance.
Get that electric out of my face.
This ain't gonna do nothing on my beard.
But then they began realizing how it adjusted to the contours of their faces for an unexpectedly close, smooth shave without the nicks and cuts of a blade.
Kind of like a Zamboni, eh?
Even their fans noticed they were changed men.
Look at you pretty boys, so smooth.
The Norelco reflex action. Put it to the test. If you don't like it, we'll give you your money back, guaranteed.
I broke the code! Come on, we're out of here!
Not till I break his code.
To play Mastermind, you have to break the other player's code. To win takes reasoning, deduction, and the sooner, the better. Look for new Mastermind Secret Search.
How do I make my escape? With Viennese Chocolate Cafe from General Foods International Coffees. It's my chocolatey getaway from the everyday. That's how I unplug.
If you've been hit hard with money problems and own your own home, call now.
Yeah, right. Hey, I'm not a rich sports star. I had the same problems you have. I missed some payments, and my credit's not perfect. Other lenders offered no help, or the old take-it-or-leave-it routine. So I called Full Spectrum Lending. Their loan counselor gave me 3 affordable choices using my home's equity. I chose a loan with low fixed payments for the first 3 years, so I could breathe easier. And Full Spectrum is part of the Countrywide family, America's home loan experts, so I knew I was getting a great loan. I lowered my monthly payments and got some extra cash. Check out Full Spectrum Lending at 800-987-4814. Take it from a guy who's been there. You're in control. It's your choice.
Planet Earth is ground zero, but who or what is taking aim? AT&T presents Invasion Earth. The mystery begins in 2 days, exclusively on the SciFi Channel.
3, 2, launch correct.
I'm sure you recognize these guys. They're the Power Rangers from Bandai. Well, this year, the Power Rangers are launching into space to team up with some authentic heroes of NASA's Apollo program. Astronauts Pete Conrad, Charlie Duke, and Alan Bean walked the lunar surface for science. And now, they can walk right into your home. And at 5 inches tall, they won't even invade much of your space. Check Bandai America's website at www.bandai.com.
All right, what's hot in space toys this season? Yes, it's that 77-year-old astronaut stud boy, John Glenn. We've got him here in Space Voyagers, dressed in spacesuit with a simulated space rock. Not sure exactly what that is. And the Hot Wheels collection, Friendship 7, the shuttle, John Glenn dressed for both. And a first, it's the Senator John Glenn action figure. Or, well, it's a senator. It could be an in-action figure.
Ray Bradbury has said, it's part of the nature of man to start with romance and build to reality. There probably hasn't been a time that we understood that sentiment better than in the 50s. It was the golden age of space travel, when spaceships were daring, sleek, and sexy, with pointy noses and bold wingspans. When looks were as important as function, those designs gave us a feeling that we were going to get into space, and soon. Fast forward 1998. A little rover made it to Mars, but no one lives there. We went to the moon 30 years ago, and even the John Glenn Media Blitz couldn't bring back that 50s ideal of a fantastic future in space. But there is a man who's trying to keep that ideal alive. Well, at least in the world of toy hobbyists. Model entrepreneur Nick Argento.
When you open up these old tools, and I have this every time I find them in a plant, and it's a toy you played with as a kid, it's real exciting. And of course, injection molding had really advanced in the late 40s to the early 50s, and there was a whole deluge of new kinds of toys. Things we couldn't do before, now we could do, and very inexpensively. But there's kind of a warm feeling when you see these old tools, and it's an old toy. We have 8 or 9 rocket kits in our line at the moment. Science fiction and space is something that'll always stay with Glencoe. I think it's neat. It's one of the things I like about doing a lot of these old tools was that plastic modeling in those days maybe wasn't as precise and as accurate as the P-51s that are produced today or the F-15 kits, but they were cool. They were fun, which is a word that a lot of model companies have lost. And when people put together these rocket kits, it's exciting.
3, 2,
For years, the photo center at Walgreens has been known for quality photo processing. In addition to our 1-hour or next-day film developing for single sets and twin prints, the new Kodak Picture Maker machine allows you to crop, enlarge, or copy your pictures at the photo center. Multi-size prints are ready in as little as 5 minutes. You can even have your pictures available on floppy disk or the internet. Create photo greeting cards today, and they're ready the next day. Get your passport photo instantly, or even have your cherished photos restored. So get creative with your pictures and save money in a snap when you discover the source for all your photo processing needs. At Walgreens, where America takes its pictures.
Want to tell me why you were driving backwards, pal? I'm just bringing home some Pizza Hut stuffed crust pizza. The pizza you eat backwards. I'm not in the wrong here, am I?
You're getting a warning.
What? La la
Hey,
la la la
stop
la
that.
la 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 la
Stop
la
it.
la.
It's the pizza-powered PlayStation giveaway. Right now, for $9.99, buy a large one-topping Pizza Hut stuffed crust pizza and get a PlayStation demo disc with cool games like Crash Bandicoot Warped and more, and a chance to win $200,000.
Go on, coppers!
Saddle up. Lock and load. Eliminate them.
Let's move these people out! Definitely feeling aggressive tendencies. Reroute emergency power!
Star Trek Insurrection. Rated PG. Join the rebellion. December 11th. Only in theaters.
3, 2, John's turn.
Here's a neat gift for all your astronaut friends. This is the Fisher Space Pen, and what makes this really cool is you can write with it at any attitude, at any altitude, even in 0 G. Now, if you're looking for space and science-oriented toys and gifts, this is a really neat place to come. But you can also get their catalog. It's Edmund Scientific. Phone number is 1-800-728-6999. Or you can find them on the web at www.edsci.com. I'm Jeff Fox at Edmund Scientific. And
all of this delicious stuff, set everything up.
I can't believe we finally went to the stadium, but we didn't see the game. Although I love the party. I mean, the tailgating was so much fun.
Of course it was fun, but you know, maybe we should just stick to television. After all, it is more our speed.
And we could party right here.
It's a good idea. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for the show today. Remember that you can get information about all of the cool tech we featured here on our website, cnet.tv.com. I'm Desmond Crisis.
And I'm Daphne Brogdon. See you on the next Cool Tech.